Scott, it's great to see you again.
Good to see you too. How far along are you?
Oh, 6 months.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
wow.
we're real excited. This is Bob Newman.
Bob.
He just bought a marina down the coast and he wants to fix it up.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Scott's the dockmaster here and the Clean Marina resource person.
Tell me how I can help.
Well, we'd like to take a look around. I want to show Bob the steps you took to get the Florida Clean Marina designation for your marina.
You see, the place I bought needs a little work. I mean, obviously I want to attract more boaters, but I am concerned about the environment.
Well, go ahead and look around. We're proud of what we've done here. It's not a new marina, but Laura came in and acted as a consultant and showed us some simple solutions on how we could get our Clean Marina designation, and our customers appreciate all that hard work.
Let's look at the fueling dock first. Notice how the dock is managed. This is a stationary dock, but if it were a floating dock, it would be a lot safer in case of a storm surge. See how the attendant is helping the boat owner by watching the number of gallons going into the tank? It's really important that an attendant be aware and alert when a boat owner is fueling.
208, 209, 210. Okay, that's it.
Hey Danny, this is Bob. He's a new marina owner. I'm showing him how you made the fuel dock safer and cleaner.
Well, you've come to the right place. Clean water is the #1 priority here.
This marina has several features that make it safe for both the boat owner and the environment. For instance, this fuel nozzle has been fixed so that no unattended fueling can occur. The last thing you want is for a fuel nozzle to get knocked loose and spill fuel all over the dock. It's not only bad for the environment, it's really dangerous.
This device is a vent guard. Its purpose is to catch any overflow of fuel during fueling. Then the fuel is recycled to prevent waste. See these fireproof containers? Any spilled fuel is placed in these containers and then returned to the tanks.
It's a good idea to ask all occupants to exit the boat during fueling for their own safety. Not every boat owner is as experienced as this one. That's why the marina posts educational signage like this to let everyone know the fuel dock procedures.
So how do you handle a large spill here?
In this box is a fuel boom. It floats on the surface of the water to trap the spilt fuel.
You'll notice there's also signage here letting you know what to do in case of a spill. Your dockmaster and your attendant should be trained in how to control spills and how to use absorbents, pads, and booms. This is a fuel contingency plan booklet. Scott keeps it right here in this box so the attendant can use it in case of a spill.
How do you secure the area against hurricanes?
Well, we learned that one from experience.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we had a hurricane here a few years ago and it cost the marina a lot of money. So now, most things can be easily removed. For instance, the fuel pumps can be removed and the tanks topped off. And the electrical outlets can also be taken away just by loosening a few bolts. Vendors should be called to pick up the recyclables as soon as there's a threat of a hurricane because, you know, they're dealing with the hurricane too. And so if you call too late, they may not be able to come.
It seems to me that portable containers of cleaning materials or anything that could spill into the water ought to be removed.
Oh, definitely. It takes this marina about 24 hours to prepare for a hurricane, but the savings for both the habitat and the marina owner are just well worth the effort. Oh, and boats, of course, should be either evacuated inland or brought to open or protected waters while it's still safe to move them.
I notice you have a pump-out station over there. How much do you charge for that service?
We encourage all our boaters to use the pump out, so we each offer it free with a fill-up.
Some boaters would rather not bother. They figure they're only one boat. What difference could it make?
It makes a big difference when you look at the numbers. Florida's got over 800,000 registered vessels in its waters and 300,000 visiting vessels. If everyone who has a boat dumps their waste into the water, it not only looks bad, it can create serious health hazards, including hepatitis, dysentery, even typhoid and cholera. Human sewage also lowers the oxygen levels in the waters, killing fish and other sea life. We want boaters to get into the habit of using the pump outs at marinas. In fact, the Clean Vessel Act allows the state of Florida to provide funds to help make pump out and dump stations available and accessible to everyone.
My marina has a pump out service, but it isn't used as much as I'd like.
Well, you need to be sure to advertise your service to boaters so they'll use it more, and make sure that your sewage facilities, including your restrooms, are clean and in good working order. It's very important to boaters.
It's very clean here. Not just the water, but there's no litter around the docks, not even a cigarette butt.
Cleanliness is a big draw for the customers. Trash isn't just unsightly, it can injure or kill sea life. In fact, it's against the law to dump plastics or garbage containing plastics into the waters. As a marina owner or dock master, you can encourage your patrons to become more litter conscious by having clearly marked receptacles with wind and wildlife-proof covers. Oh, and be sure to have them conveniently located.
What about liquid wastes like oil and bilge water or paint?
Again, it helps to have separate, well-labeled containers, but Scott sends out mailings that helps educate the boaters about the rules of liquid waste. I recommend drip pans with absorbent pads for draining oil, and I also recommend that boat owners trailer their boats to a facility that has containment for liquid wastes. Here comes Michael. He cleans a lot of the boats around here. Hey, Michael.
Hello, Laura.
Michael, this is Bob. I'm showing him around the marina so he can get his own Clean Marina designation. How do you clean the boats in the water without releasing harmful substances?
Come on, I'll show you. We'll clean one right now.
Oh, good.
The first thing we do is to choose biodegradable cleansers, like citrus cleansers, vinegar, and baking soda. We also use plenty of elbow grease, but no degreasers.
Notice how he washes the boat hull above the waterline by hand. All detergents and other cleaning materials should be phosphate-free and biodegradable.
We don't need much. A little bit often does the trick. We never use cleansers containing ammonia, lye, or other damaging substances.
Whenever possible, encourage the boaters to remove the boat from the water for cleaning so that debris can be captured and properly disposed of.
I don't understand the problem with these chemicals. I mean, we've been using them for years.
We've learned products that use ammonia, chlorine, and phosphates are toxic to sea life, and degreasers dry the natural oils fish need for their gills in order to breathe. Without sea life, a lot of the fun of boating will be gone. Clean water means boaters will return, which in turn means profits for your business.
Yes, but what can you do about boaters who dump hazardous waste?
Well, again, you need to provide clearly marked containers for hazardous waste, post signs by solid waste dumpsters, and trash cans that prohibit the disposal of hazardous wastes. A marina owner can be held liable for any damages or injury that occur from a fire or explosion in a dumpster where hazardous waste has been disposed. Well, you know, I think we're done here. Let's go back and see Scott. When boaters rent a slip from this marina, they sign an agreement that says they understand and comply with the environmental policies.
Clean water is just too important to our bottom line.
Thanks, Scott. I've really gotten some good ideas from this marina. But of course, every marina is different.
That's right.
Take care.
Bye, Scott. Thanks a lot. I hope you also notice that Scott keeps his staff trained and up to date on all environmental policies. That's a really important criteria in Clean Marina designation. You know what? We should stop by a freshwater marina on our way out to your facility. They have some special concerns I think might really interest you. Here at this marina, owners need to watch out for boaters who accidentally introduce exotic plants like hydrilla or exotic animals like zebra mussels into pristine waterways.
Well, what can boaters do?
Well, again, educating boaters is the first step. Post signs emphasizing the need to inspect vessels thoroughly and to remove exotics from hulls and trailers, especially below the waterline. It's important also to provide facilities for the complete rinsing of vessels, trailers, and bait wells. Boaters should check bilges, live wells, and trailers at the ramps. And all plant fragments need to be removed from all boating and fishing equipment. Water should be pumped out and treated for larvae and spore removal. If a boat has been trailered in or motored in from out of state, make sure the boater flushes the water cooling system and cleans sea strainers before launching into our waters.
Fortunately, there aren't many exotics in the waters near my marina, and the seagrass beds are coming back since the last hurricane.
Good.
But it's good information. A lot of my boaters enjoy fresh water as well.
Oh, great. Well, let's take a look at your place and review your Clean Marina Action Plan.
All right. Laura, you've given me some really good ideas about how to keep the water here clean, but aren't there other sources of pollution I should be aware of?
Yeah, there are. And the first of these is stormwater. Some marinas, like yours, have a natural buffer zone to help filter the pollutants and sediments. I always advise marina owners to create a natural vegetated buffer zone if there isn't one already there.
I was thinking of putting together a pollution prevention plan, but I'm really not sure how to do that.
Well, that's a great idea. There are certain marina environmental measures that can really help. For instance, just general good housekeeping and training your employees about pollution preventions and measures and controls. You should also inspect your stormwater system regularly. If debris has accumulated, remove it. If you plan to install rain gutters on your buildings, direct the discharge away from paved surfaces, for example, towards landscaped areas so the stormwater can be absorbed.
What about parking lots near the marina? I was thinking of having this lot paved with asphalt, but would stormwater bring oil off the pavement?
Yes, it would. It's a good idea to replace paved areas with a pervious material like gravel, shell, or sod over packed sand or dirt. But in the case of your marina, you might just want to leave the lot the way it is and add some more landscaping.
Landscaping would be less expensive, and it would make my marina more attractive.
Oh.
Come on, I'll show you the dock. These docks are floating docks, which is great in the event of a storm surge, but I've noticed that the styrene blocks have begun to deteriorate.
Well, you can replace these open foam flotation blocks with closed foam blocks. That'll stop the disintegration. And these little bits of styrene aren't good for the water, and they create kind of a littered look around the dock. Here, I want to leave this Clean Marina Action Plan with you.
Thank you. Well, this is terrific. It covers everything we've been talking about. Waste management, dock management, as well as maintenance and facilities. I can see exactly what I need to do to improve. I could post signage explaining fueling procedures and install a spill response kit.
Great. I also suggest that you keep a designated used rag and sorbent container nearby, but just make sure that the container is properly ventilated, obviously, to avoid combustion.
How about if I provide sorbent materials for boaters in the ship's store? Or maybe even dockside?
Excellent. And also, most importantly, make sure that you or a member of your staff oversee all fueling operations. That way you can lock up the pumps in between fueling.
There's also some really solid information here about how to save energy in my facilities that I hadn't thought about.
Well, conserving energy means conserving money, and so everybody's happy.
And that's good information. Well, how about my pump out station?
Okay. A sign like this will help advertise your pump-out station to customers. But I also suggest that you keep a 5-gallon bucket with 5% chlorine solution right next to the pump-out. That way you can place the nozzle in the bucket between pump-outs and it will reduce the spread of bacteria.
That's one area that gets plenty of use.
It may seem perfectly natural to dump fish waste in the waters, but too much fish waste can exceed that which naturally exists there, and this can deplete the water of dissolved oxygen.
And that's bad news for my water quality.
Yes, and it can result in fish kills and the attraction of unwanted predators like alligators. A sign like this can inform boaters about the dangers of fish waste in small enclosed basins. It will encourage them to dispose of unwanted bait offshore and to gut fish and dispose of its contents in open and protected waters.
I'm thinking of putting more trash receptacles here.
Well, that's a great start. You might also want to put in some covered recycling bins and make them permanent so they won't be damaged in a storm or stolen.
All right. Well, here's the boat launch area. Right now we're asking boaters not to pull their bilge plugs in the ramp area, but most boaters like to take advantage of the incline when they drain their bilges.
Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. One thing I recommend is to put in a trench with a grating over it and then put in an absorbing boom. If you paint a bright colored stripe on either side of the trench and put signs up that tell boaters to pull up past the line, they can still take advantage of the incline and the boom will absorb all the hydrocarbons.
And then when the boom is saturated, I replace it.
Exactly.
Thank you. That should do the trick.
Your boat lift and rack storage is another area that could use a few upgrades. How many boats does the storage hold?
24. We take them out of the water with a forklift and we bring them up here. That's where we drain the engines and pull the bilge plugs. Then we put them away on the racks. I know what you're going to say.
What?
The runoff drains directly into the basin.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah, and that's good. But it can be easily fixed just by putting in a diversion berm and French drain. That way you can reroute the runoff away from the basin and onto the grassy area.
I have a pressure washer, but it's not operational.
Well, once you get the diversion berm in place, you can put in your pressure washer recycling system and catch pad. And that'll keep you in compliance with EPA stormwater regulations and increase your revenues by offering a new service.
Oh, that's super. Laura, if I follow through with all your recommendations, I have a lot of work ahead of me. Could you review for me one more time what it will do for me if I qualify for a Clean Marina designation?
Well, there are a number of benefits. I have some materials in the car. Let me get them for you. For instance, first of all, you'll receive some marketing tools to help increase your revenue. And secondly, the Department of Environmental Protection will help with the use of new technologies to tackle some problem areas. Third, the Clean Marina program can show you how to improve cost efficiency and show you which environmental, state, and federal regulations apply to your marina. And finally, you'll get some information about the possible financial assistance to offset some of the cost of these environmental measures.
Well, I can sure use all the help I can get.
Well, remember, having a clean marina not only earns you the recognition of your peers and the community,
It shows that my facility is committed to pollution prevention.
Exactly. And it provides you with an excellent marketing tool to help increase your revenues.
Which in turn helps me to take better care of the environment.
Right. The Clean Marina program is good for business and the environment.